So in this lesson, we're going to talk about parallel lines. First, let's do a little vocab. A transversal is a line that intersects two parallel or non-parallel lines. So if we have two parallel lines, the transversal is one that's cutting through like that. So that's a transversal. But they don't have to be parallel. They can be non-parallel. So like these guys, right? Those are non-parallel. They're going to cross eventually. They're going to cross like right there. I can make them cross like that. This is still a transversal. Right? So it's just a line that cuts across two other lines. Now let's talk about corresponding angles. Those are angles in matching corners, usually on the same side of a transversal. So an example would be like 1 and 5. So these two guys would be corresponding. So angle 1 and angle 5. I could do the same thing with angle 2 and angle 6. So like they call them matching corners. So it's, for me, it's always like they kind of skip. They're on the same side, but they kind of skip. So 2 with 6. We can also say 3 goes with 7. And on the other side, we could say angle 8 goes with angle 4. So those are the corresponding ones. So this guy goes with this guy, and this guy would go with this guy. Right? Alternate interior. These are more straightforward. They are what they say. Alternate interior. They alternate and they're on the interior. So first, talk about the interior part. So when we have these parallel, when we have these lines here, sorry, they're not parallel. They're just lines. This side is interior. So we consider all this the interior. It's inside the two lines. And then we would consider everything else outside the exterior. They're outside the two lines, right? So exterior, interior. These guys are alternating and they're on the interior. So it's gonna be one of the interior angles here and they're gonna alternate. So it'd be like 3 with 6. So angle 3 and angle 6. Then we could say angle 5 with angle 4. Right, so those are all interior. I mean, that looks kind of messy right there, but they're on the interior and they alternate. Alternate exterior, same concept, right? So they're alternating and they're on the exterior. So we're talking about this outside ones here. So we're talking about ones that are either in here or in here, right? And then since they're alternating, it'll be 1 goes with 8, right? Because if 1 went with 7, that'll be on the same side. They wouldn't be alternating. So angle 1 and angle 8, and angle 2 with angle 7. Okay, the next one, same side interior, also known as consecutive interior angles. I would say that, again, they are what they sound like. They're on the same and on the interior. So let's focus on interior first, right? So interior angles are, again, the ones inside the two lines. So these would be my interior angles. That's my interior. And they're on the same side. So if I was on 3, I'm not going to alternate. I'm going to stay on the same side. 3 and 6. 3 and 5. And likewise over here would be 4 would go with 6. So like that. So those are same side interior. On the same side and on the interior. Okay, so now here's some postulates. So this is what we call these angles no matter what. Right? These are corresponding, the ones like there, all interior, all exterior, same side. But if they're parallel, then we have these special properties. So these only work if they're parallel. Could not stress this enough. If they're parallel. And we could tell if things are parallel if they have the little parallel marks on them. You can't just assume it. You have to have the marks on there. So these guys have the marks right there. So these are parallel. Now what happens is corresponding angles happen to be congruent. So angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding. So angle 1 be congruent to angle 5. We have what angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. We have 3 and 7. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 7. And we have 8 and 4. So angle 8 is congruent to angle 4. So if they're parallel lines, all the corresponding ones are congruent. So they're the exact same measurement. Alternate interior angles. Again, if two lines are parallel, has to be parallel. Then alternate interiors are also congruent. So they're also equal to each other. So remember, alternate interiors are the ones that they're on the interior, so like 3, and then they alternate. So 3 alternates would be 6. So angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. And that would make angle 4 congruent to angle 5. Again, only the ones on the interior that are alternating. Alternate exterior also congruent. So again, if they're parallel, cannot stress that enough. But then you get alternate exterior are congruent. So again, just exactly what it sounds like. They're on the exterior, so on the outside here, and they're ones that alternate. So it's not 1 and 7. It won't be 1 and 2 because they're right next to each other. So it's not 1 and 7 because they'll be on the same side. We want exterior. We want alternate and the exterior. So 1 and 8 go together, and they're equal. And then we'll have 2 and 7. Remember, that's a congruent sign. That's what I'm showing there. So they're congruent. That means they're the same size. And then same side interior. So it's only that's a little different. Same side interior. Again, it is exactly what it sounds like. So it's on the interior, so inside here, and they're on the same side. So we have like 3 and 5. But these are not congruent. These are actually supplementary. So if they're in between two parallel lines, again, parallel lines cannot stress that enough. Then angle 3 plus angle 5 equal 180. Remember, supplementary means they add up to be 180. So those same side interiors, the only one's a little different, they add to be 180. So same thing will go around for 4 and 6. Angle 4 plus angle 6 would equal 180. So those are properties. If you have two parallel lines, again, only works if you have parallel lines, then same side interior, they have to be 180, the ones next to each other on the inside. And then alternate exterior are congruent, alternate interior congruent, and corresponding congruent. The ones that you need to know for sure, corresponding angles, alt interior, alternate exterior, honestly not that important. You could easily find it with other things, and same side. Those three like you need to know. Okay, let's do an example. So given the measurement angle 7 is 80, I want you to find the measurement angle 1 and angle 2. So they're saying this guy is 80 degrees. We got to find the measure of angle 1 and angle 2. So if we know the rules, angle 2 is alternate exterior. That to be 80 also. They're the same. But I just said that's something you don't really need to know, and this is why. Let's first put down the ones we have to know, right? So I would say corresponding is a big one. These two are equal by corresponding. And then we got alt interior. Those two are equal. I should draw the parallel lines. By alt interior. So this is corresponding. This is alt interior. We have same side. That one's important because they don't equal, they equal 180. Same side. And what we also have is vertical angles from a prior lesson, right? If they make 180, if they make an X, they're equal to each other. That's called vertical angles. And we also have linear pair or supplementary. Anytime you can make a 180 degree, anytime you have a straight line, they equal 180. So we have all these tools at our disposal, right? So like what I would do here is like the honestly easiest one, the part that's easiest is vertical angles. So angle 7 and angle 6, the vertical angles, that's 80 also. And now angle 6 and angle 2 are corresponding. So that's 80. Right, so again, a little easier if you remember the alternate exterior rule, but you can just do vertical angles and corresponding. Not much different. How do I find angle 1? Well, you could use like same side and vertical angles if you want. I would use the fact that anytime you have a straight line, it equals 180. So measure of angle 1 plus 80, which is angle 2, equals 180. Right, so these two together equal 180 because they're a straight line, supplementary. So that means that this angle plus 80 equals 180. Subtract 80 from both sides. And angle 1 equals 100. So that's the idea. We'll do a few more of those. Okay, let's do the next one here. The measure of angle 3 and the measure of angle 7. So measure of angle 3 is 7x plus 1. And the measure of angle 7 is 3x plus 25. So this one's a little different. So how are we going to solve this one? Well, what do I know about these two? These two, look what they are. They're corresponding, right? It's this guy. And if we're corresponding, we know they're equal to each other. So we could say angle 3 is equal to angle 7. And I know angle 3 is 7x plus 1. And angle 7 is 3x plus 25. Now we just got to do the algebra, right? So we solve that. I want to get rid of one of the x's. We have two of them, so get rid of the smaller one. These cancel out. I get 4x plus 1 is equal to 25. Get rid of that 1, minus 1 from both sides. 4x equals 24, divided by 4. So x equals 6. Now, that's not the full answer because they also want angle 7 and angle 2. So remember the way we do it, we just substitute back in, right? Angle 3, angle 7, angle 2. That's okay. Well, angle 3 is 7x plus 1. But now we know 7 is 6. So we have 42 plus 1, or 43. So let me erase this real quick. I know this is 43. Right? That's 43. That makes angle 2 also 43 because these are vertical angles. And it makes angle 7 43 because those are corresponding. Right? I actually can find all of them if I want to. 43, 43. All interiors will be 43 and vertical angles. Then we do 180 minus some of these to find the rest. So it's actually not that bad. Okay. Last couple. What error is it making this problem below? They're saying the measure of angle 1 is 88. That's what they're saying. They're saying these two are the same. And you might be like, yeah, that's right. It's not. Remember, this only works if they're parallel. This is not parallel. So the error they're making is that is not parallel. So, not parallel. The rule only works if they're parallel. So that's the error there. This one, they tell us the angle of measure 3 is 127. So that's this guy. They want us to find all the rest of the angles. So we kind of did one like this earlier, right? So first, I would hit all the easy ones. So this one and this one are vertical angles. And then from here, I like to do corresponding. So angle 3 corresponds to angle 7. And you could either do corresponding with these two, or you could do vertical angles with these two. Or you could have done all interior with these two, right? Either way, it all works. Now, we got to find the other, basically the other half of these. So you could do same side. These two guys are same side. If you remember same side, that equal 180, so 127 plus angle 5 equals 180 minus 127 from both sides. Angle 5 is equal 53. So this is 53. And once you have that, vertical angles, 53. All interior or corresponding, 53. And then vertical angles again, 53. So that's how this works. And that's the lesson.